Hello, I'm Tom. I'm a student here in the Master's Interpreting at the campus of Antwerp at KU Leuven. And I'm here with the painter of this magnificent mural, Mariana Duarte Santos. Could you introduce yourself a little bit first?
Hi, I'm Mariana. I'm an artist from Lisbon, Portugal, and I paint murals, I paint paintings, drawing, and general visual arts, mostly figurative, but murals are a big part of my practice.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit more about this mural?
So this mural was really interesting because the whole project from the beginning was very involved with everybody. The initial theme was women migrants, and since it's such a broad theme, it was quite challenging to think of something that could include many cultures and that could be representative of many people, and also challenge some of the stereotypes around migration and around women. So after a lot of research and after a lot of collaboration with staff, students, professors, I think we arrived at something that is pretty representational and interesting, and that has many layers to it that can be explored.
Yeah, true. And how was it painting for a university campus, because your other murals are outside of buildings? So how was it doing it for a university?
I think it was a lot more involved because when I'm painting in the street, I'm a bit removed from the people. Usually I'm very high up, so people can't even talk to me, and a lot of people don't know what's going on. I also try to do a lot of collaborative projects and to bring people into what I'm doing, but here in this university setting, it was much more natural to have a lot of involvement from different people. And then because it's not a big wall for what I usually paint, it was interesting that I could take this chance to give something a lot of detail and do a work that I don't usually get to do, because usually things are pretty rushed. I have to paint like big buildings in a week, and here I could take my time and do something really detailed and include a lot of things, so that was nice.
Yeah. How long does it usually take to do a mural?
Well, it's usually around a week. That's like the allotted time, because there's machines involved and renting involved and staying in a different country or a different place usually. So people that are commissioning it usually give me about a week, and that's for buildings sometimes like 5 floors, 6 floors. So it's pretty challenging. I work like very long hours, 12 hours a day most of the time. And yeah, so usually it's a week, and then if it's a really huge wall, then it's more time, maybe 2 weeks, but it's never much more than that. And then sometimes if it's a small mural, I've done murals in a day, in 2 days, 3 days, so it depends.
Wow. And then coming back to the university, like how do you think this mural will impact education, or how, and then specifically to the disciplines that we teach here?
Well, hopefully, I think it will bring some curiosity from people, that people can look at some new books, gain some more or renewed interest in reading, and also make their own stories, because I think that imagination always needs to have a source, and that source is curiosity. And if you see an object, if you see anything you can see can have a story behind it. So if you're curious, you can come up with your own stories, you can make your own ties, you can tie together different things, and with language, that's also what happens a lot. Languages have ties in common, they have unique things about them, and if you're curious about things, you'll always find something new. So I think curiosity is what I want to spark mostly with the mural.
Okay. Yeah, as I said yesterday during the event, I find it very inspiring, and I wanted to speak for all students that it is very true what you say, that it truly inspires us all. And then how do you perceive the change in space in the building, and were you thinking of making this mural a kind of place of encounter, and how has this been the case for your other murals that you made?
Okay, so I always think of the space where the mural is going to be, because space affects a lot of an image doesn't live well sometimes in a particular place and it might live well in another. And I think with this space it was all very wide, very clinical, and I think this brings it a little bit more warmth and more coziness, and about it being a place to gather. I think with the seats that are usually here as well, I think it naturally becomes that, so that's nice. And with my other murals, I always try to look at the architecture that involves the rest. I try to make things that will stand out and blend at the same time. I don't like things to stand out too much, because when I'm painting I'm there for a week, and people that are there are living with the mural for like in their daily life, so I don't want a big jarring kind of green thing that if someone's in a bad mood and they see that it doesn't speak to them or their life. So I like things to blend a little bit, and a lot of my work is black and white, but then there's some places where black and white doesn't make much sense, either because things are already too grey or already too white, or and then the contrasts, and then it's too much. So a bit of color brings it a bit more contrast, and it can blend in at the same time. And it depends. I always look at where I'm painting and what surrounds it, so I can see what makes more sense.
Okay, and we did an event yesterday to show the mural, but how does that work with your other murals? How do you see the reactions of the people that you or from the community?
Well, usually the reactions are while I'm painting, people talk a lot. Sometimes they bring me food and bring me beer, so that's nice. And so the reactions, it's very heartwarming to get that instant feedback while they're painting something. Usually, like, all the murals follow a cycle, which is first people are mad because they only see squiggles and things, and it doesn't look like anything, and they're like, what's going on, what's this, and they're not happy about it. And then on the second and third day, when they see the image start to show up, they're like, wow, I didn't know something like this could come out of those squiggles on the wall. And then they start asking questions or telling stories, or this reminds me when I was a kid, or this reminds me of my mother, or I was just thinking about something like this the other day. So it's then as each day goes by, people start liking it more, and the trust builds. So the feedback is very instantaneous.
And do you use some of those suggestions while you're working on the painting, or?
Usually no, because here it was different, because I had a framework for what I was doing, but then the details could still be changed or could still be added. So here I took a lot of feedback from people, a lot of suggestions of book titles, but it wouldn't influence the whole composition. But if I'm painting a big building and a big wall, I can't just start adding things, because then things wouldn't make sense that I already painted. It's too messy, and you can't please everybody, and someone wants dolphins and another one wants flowers, so then it doesn't make much sense. So it's always a bit of a juggle, but there's places or instances where it's possible to take suggestions, and then most of the time no.
And was this the first time that you did the workshops in preparation for a mural, or?
With something so organized, like I've done community-involved projects before, where I would have meetings with the population where I'm painting, or gather old photographs. But it would always be very research-based. It would always be me trying to get something that I already want, rather than having a conversation and things being a bit more fluid. So I think it was nice here that it worked out, that the workshops and the participation was more fluid and not so like I didn't necessarily know what was going to come of it. And then other collaborations or other community-led things that I've done before, I would have quite a strong idea of what I wanted to gather, or what I wanted people to inform me of. So
And this one was made for Women on the Move with the theme of women and migration. But is there a theme or an organization you want to work on or work with for a mural?
Well, there's many things that I'd like. Yeah, I would love to do something related to music, but like the bands that I like and the musicians that I like. So that's would be a pretty nice dream. And then, like in general, I love doing what I do, and I would love to continue to have the opportunity to look into the place's histories, learn new things, talk to people, and see how history and how local identity can influence the future, and how it creates senses of belonging, and how similar and how different things are. So I love all that social interaction, all that historical curiosity. So I love doing what I'm doing already. I hope to continue to do it. And then if I were to add something to it, it would be music related, and then also maybe film related, because I love movies as well. I work a lot from still frames from movies. And then general themes. It's always good to have creative freedom to interpret a theme in your own way. And in here it was good because I got a lot of creative freedom. I didn't have to submit any mock-ups for approval. I was trusted what I was doing, so that's always a great feeling.
So you talked about approval. Do you get asked most of the time, or do you see a wall in a village and you say, I want to do something with this?
No, I get asked.
Yeah, okay.
I get asked, or I submit proposals to open calls, or I present my work to institutions or councils or things like that. But the wall is always given to me. I don't pick out walls like that. No. So the wall is given to me. Most of the time, a theme is given to me, and then there's a rare occasion where there's no theme, or where the theme is more broad and I get creative freedom. So it varies quite a bit.
And if you had to pick one story of a bystander who told you a story, what would be the one that stuck to you the most?
In general, or?
Yeah, just in general.
It's very hard to come up with something on the spot like that. There's been many stories. There was one nice one that I was painting in a little village, and I got a lot of old photographs from the village. But I didn't know anything about it. I just picked a photograph that worked best for the wall, and I started painting it. And people would come by, and one day a woman came by, and she said, "I think you're painting my father. I think that's my father." I said, "Really?" So I showed her the picture, and she was crying because she hadn't seen that picture in many years. She didn't know it still existed, and the funniest thing as well too was that I was painting the wall of a building that her father had lived in, and I didn't know. It was all by chance, so that was pretty nice. Yeah.
Wow, that was beautiful. And then on a final note, like I said in the beginning, you inspire a lot of people with your murals. What would you say to, or do you have any tips for starting painters or more experienced painters who want to start with murals on, how to start or how to...
Okay, so first you gotta get really good at painting and drawing, like in a small scale, and you have to be very comfortable and very confident in what you do. Because if you're not, then you can't be guessing on a wall. It's too big. After that, if you're already confident and competent and you know what you're doing, try to paint a first wall of a friend's house or someone that you know. There's a lot of abandoned buildings as well, so get one wall that you can have as an example to show to people, because that way they'll be able to see what you can do. And after you paint that first wall, there's a lot of mural festivals. There's that you can submit your work to, that you can send them a message and and present what you do, and then things will start evolving more after that. And it's because it's such a public-facing work. A lot of a lot of people get to see it, and a lot of people get interested. And you never know who wants you to paint a wall. It was pretty good, and I was pretty lucky that when I started painting murals, then like one kept coming after another, because the more walls I would paint, the more people would see it, and the more the more people had a chance to want something like that as well. So also small villages are very good, because if you paint something in a small village, the village next to it also wants one. So those are the tips I would give. And then there's also the to transport the drawing or the painting to the wall. There's this method that's called doodle grid, and you can look it up online, and it's very easy to learn and to put in practice, and it makes things very much easier in terms of scaling your work, the drawing itself, so that you're not guessing on such a large scale.
And then maybe one more final thing that also ties into that. How do you handle criticism?
Well, I'm aware that you can't please everybody, and luckily I get more praise than criticism, which is always nice. But I think that's it. I'm aware that you can't please everybody, and there's things that I like and other people don't like. There's things that other people love and I don't like at all. So I take it like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mariana, for this interview.
Thank you.